Fear is here to safeguard you. That is what we have been conditioned to believe our whole lives. That fear is what will keep you alive. That when your heart is pounding and your pores are prickling, that is your mind attempting to caution you. But what if that is a lie? What if at those very moments, the moments that fear is gripping your chest, the strongest you are not safest, but lied to the most? Fear doesn't make you rational, it makes you obedient. It doesn't help you see clearly. It narrows your vision, turns your thoughts into a tunnel, and locks every door except the one that leads back to safety. When fear rises, your brain stops asking questions and starts giving commands. Run, hide, retreat. And the worst part is, you trust it. You trust it completely. Here is the reality that most individuals will never experience. Your brain is designed to preserve your life, not to be correct. Your life is more critical than your conviction. Instinct is more fundamental than fact. Fear is a blunt instrument. It is quick, it is primal, and it is not invested in your ambitions or agendas. It merely understands how to holler loudest whenever the world about you is running different. And so, whenever you are frightened, your brain is not getting more intelligent, your brain is getting noisier. Think about the last time that you've been afraid. Not surprised, not very afraid, but really afraid. Maybe it was being in the presence of someone that was capable of hurting you. Maybe it was a choice that you knew was going to change everything. Maybe it was just a silence, that terrible kind of silence that seems to hold its breath along with yours. How were your thoughts then? Did they get more defined? Or did they scatter like birds? Fear does that. It doesn't provide wisdom. It injects your system with static. Your heart pumps faster, your breath gets shallower, your eyes blur, and your mind begins weaving tales out of darkness. In the tempest, panic feels a lot like intuition. You think that your galloping heartbeat is speaking a truth, when really, it's saying run before you even know what is taking place. Your brain is a great storyteller, and fear is its favorite narrative. It can take half-truths, old memories, and what-ifs and make them iron bars. You believe that not knowing is synonymous with danger, that hurting is synonymous with death, that moving forward is moving into a trap. And so, most individuals back away. They believe the voice in their head because it is so absolute. But absolute and true are not synonymous. Fear isn't concerned with reality. It's concerned with keeping you where you are. That's why it has such a strong grip. The moment you start moving towards something bigger, something unknown, fear wakes up like an old guard dog and growls at the gate. It barks not because there's real danger, but because there's unfamiliar ground, and your brain listens. It always has. There's a cruel irony to it. You most need clarity just when fear is loudest. But that is just when your mind is least capable of delivering. It puts the circuits in you that think at their abstractest levels in disable mode and gives the mic to the circuits in you that respond like a trapped animal. Fight, flight, freeze. They are not intelligent responses. They are primal codes wired into your nervous system. Useful when a predator is chasing at your heels. Catastrophic when the predator is just in your head. If you ever become conscious how many times fear dictates their decisions, it lurks in quiet corners. It is the pause prior to taking a risk, the voice cautioning what will happen if you fail, the discomfort that tells you something adverse will result if you simply move a step ahead. It disguises itself under the guise of wisdom. It tells you that it is safeguarding you, yet in actuality, keeping you small. Fear builds cages with thoughts. Stay here, don't budge. It's not safe out there. And that cage feels comfortable for a while, but that cage is eventually going to suffocate. That's because fear doesn't hold the world back, it holds you back from yourself, away from your potential, away from becoming something else. There's a moment every person faces at some point in their life, a quiet crossroads where the mind is screaming to step back, but something deeper inside whispers, go. That's the battle between fear and reality. One is loud, the other is quiet. One feels urgent, the other feels fragile. And the tragic thing is, most people listen to the loud one. Your brain is not evil, it is not trying to harm you. The brain is just obsolete. You are wired for a world that no longer exists. A world where that strange noise in the dark night may have been something with teeth. A world where the unsafe was unsafe. But today's dangers are not like that. They are not monsters lurking in darkness. They are potential futures hiding behind that feeling of unease. They are opportunities that you have not yet met. When you trust your brain blindly in moments of fear, you're following instructions written thousands of years ago by someone who never imagined your life today. And those instructions don't lead to growth, they lead to hiding. That is why the bravest individuals are not always not afraid. They are completely afraid, but they have learned to question their brain at that particular time. They have learned that that which feels unsafe is not necessarily unsafe. That fear is not a compass. That fear is an alarm. You know something is occurring. You do not know what is true. It is not strength that is in fearlessness, but in staying still while your brain begs you to run. In doubt even as your instinct screams. In taking a step forward even as your very nervous system is dragging you back. Because the truth is behind that wall, and the future that is yours is behind the spot that you almost listened to fear. Fear doesn't require evidence to persuade you. It requires volume, and the more frightened you become, the louder it becomes. It imagines colorfully all that can possibly go wrong. It doesn't flash memories at you of what can possibly go right. It doesn't reveal to you how capable you are. It reveals to you failure, defeat, loss. It attempts to have that image become reality so that you may not even attempt. Fear does not know the future. It merely knows the past. It rehearses every time you fell, every hurt, every time you took a leap into the unknown and were wounded. It makes a map that is nothing more than a map of forgotten pain, and then it offers it to you and says, "Believe this, don't move." But that map is outdated. And if you heed this, then you will simply wander in circles around a tiny safe place, with no intuition about what is on the other side. Fear's ultimate trick is that it will convince you that it is truth. But the minute that you can look at fear as what it is, a biological alarm, and not a prophecy, it starts to lose its hold. You do not have to suppress it at all. You simply have to no longer give it the final word. There are those that will spend a lifetime confusing fear with wisdom. They will never create the thing they imagined, never uttered the words that might have altered their world, never take a step on that path that frightened them but led to a place true, because they have trusted a frightened brain to lead them into a bold life, and that dooms them. The most insidious lies are lies that sound like instincts. They do not yell, they whisper, and they sound just like your own voice. But look closer and you will see something. Fear does not provide a clear image of the future, and that is all that it can provide. A way out, a withdrawal, a backward step. That is why you will know that it is lying. The next time fear reaches out and tugs at your heart, remember this: your brain is functioning properly. Properly, that is, to function on behalf of your past, not your future. You will have to be the one to move beyond it, not by resisting fear, but by moving with fear, not by reclining and expecting its departure, but by not allowing it to make the choices. Your growth begins the minute that you entertain fear as a guest and not a guide. It can scream, it can shake, but they cannot drive. You do.